Hello, Rama Rama Puppodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, having a relaxed and peaceful life. Now let's go to chapter 36. Kashmir continue. The Lake of the Mind. Another day, which was a Sunday, Amarnath Bakshi took Ramdas out on an excursion to the famous gardens of Kashmir, Salimar and Nishat Bagh. In order to reach the gardens, they had to slide over the glassy surface of the Dal Lake on a kisti. The boat passed through the river and the canals that led up to the lake, displaying as it proceeded willows and dense vegetation along the banks of the canals. An hour's trip brought them at the landing of the Nishat Bag. They made their way inside the garden. The scene that now spread out before the gaze of Ramdas was of exquisite charm and grace. The garden was symmetrical in its formation. A wide sheet of pure, sparkling water, like a band, was running down right through the middle of the garden grounds. On both sides of this shallow stream were laid carefully designed beds of flower, plants, and trees of various species. The yellow and blue, crimson and white, violet and orange colors of the flowers vied with one another in lending a bewitching charm to this floral picture painted in nature's own variegated tints. The rose, the lily, the chrysanthemum, the marigold, the carnation, the daisy, the violet, and the bluebell displayed their brilliant freshness in profusion. The evergreen cone-shaped fir trees and the giant chenna, a tree peculiar to Kashmir, cast their deep but cool shade in the garden. As they walked up the plot, which is made up of several flats, he saw hundreds of fountains at work, sending forth their spray 20 feet up into the air. On a higher level in the center of the garden is situated a solid structure supported on polished stone pillars. The surrounding view of the garden is also most imposing. The garden is laid out at the foot of the mountains, which form its background, with the extended stretch of Dal Lake in its front. The Shalimar Garden is in several respects an exact replica of the Nishat Bagh. These gardens were first put up by Shah Jahan and Jehangir, the famous Mughal kings. These picturesque grounds are indeed the paradise of the Mohammedans. While on their return journey by the same kisti by which they had proceeded to the gardens, Amarnath narrated a legal perplexity with which the magistrates of Kashmir were confronted. While in other places, movable property such as money and other articles are subject to theft, here land property is also stolen. The lakes have a thick growth of stout reeds, and these areas are converted into floating fields for cultivation. Bits of these fields are often cut off by the owners of the adjoining fields with thieving propensities and are slid over the surface of the water and tacked on to their own, which action results in lawsuits. By evening, the party returned to the city. Ramdas also paid visits to Visharnag, a place shaded by giant shena trees and with a tank famous for its city, and Rambagh, with its beautifully laid gardens of flowers and the storied Dharmashala for travelers, both the sites being outside the city precincts. Another day he made a trip to Havan, a charming retreat 9 miles from Srinagar. The landscape, the lake, and the running stream of dazzling water with the background of high mountains full of vegetation comprised of a most fascinating sight. He felt the subtle spell of the place. The lake stood on a higher level facing the mountains. When he first saw it, a soft breeze was blowing over its bosom, moving the limpid, transparent waters into ripples that surfaced its surface. During the half an hour's saunter amidst the attractive scenes, he directed his gaze again to the lake. The breeze had stopped, and the lake shone like a huge mirror, its surface now placid, calm, and still, reflecting the glorious picture of the surrounding mountains. Pointing to the lake, he remarked to Amarnath, "Human mind can be compared to this lake. When the breeze of Maya sweeps on the lake of the mind, the waves of desire rise, disturbance ensues, but no sooner does Maya cease to play on it then it becomes calm and peaceful like as it is seen now, revealing a vision of unsurpassing splendor and joy." Before dark, they got back to Srinagar. Being of a sincere and lovable nature, Amarnath was acutely feeling the separation of Janki Nath, his elder brother, who, with many other Pandits of his department, by a strange act of the Kashmir government, was ordered to remain in Jammu for all the seasons of the year. About the time of Ramdas' departure from Jammu, a post in the department had become vacant in Srinagar for which Janki Nath was eligible, and he had applied for the same. Amarnath was in his anxiety exerting all his influence with the authorities to bring about the desired transfer. He would every day during this time come to Ramdas. "Swamiji, do pray for the success of my brother," he would say. "He is so unhappy at Jammu in this hot weather, and his family here is also miserable on account of his absence from their midst." Ramdas would then simply assure him, "Trust God, give up anxiety, and all will be well." Day after day was spent by the brother and the family on the tenter hooks of expectation. A week thus passed. One day Amarnath came to him and reported, with a face bright and smiling, "Swamiji, at last my brother got the appointment. I have a wire from him to say that he would be here in a short time to join the post. This is all your kindness." "God be praised for it," replied Ramdas. "It is all his doing." Before the end of next week, Jankinath was in Srinagar. The first thing he did as he entered his house was to rush up to the room in which Ramdas lived, take him in his arms and clasp him in a fast and fond embrace lasting for several minutes. Now the whole household brightened up with cheer and happiness. That's all, folks. Let's see in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Puppodu.